According to YouTube, we are live. Hi, this is Chris Johansson with the Stewart Buzz, Psychic the Genie. We are here with Dr. Dave. Dave, say hi.
Hello.
This is Dr. Dave. It's a very funny name. I like that. Feels like I'm talking to my therapist again. If I only went to a therapist. Anyway, we are here to talk about his upcoming event that will be here. What is that week?
Yes, Tuesday, February 4th, I believe you have us on.
Tuesday, February 4th is going to be in this room, plenty of seats.
At 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m. Okay, I didn't get there yet, but that's all right. Thank you. See, jumping the gun. So this event, anybody can come or just the mentally ill?
We prefer just about everyone.
So the people that are not mentally ill can actually benefit from this as well, because everybody knows somebody in their family or friends who are mentally ill. I have numerous friends that are mentally ill. One sitting on the table over there across from us, but that's beside the point. So anyway, so you're going to talk about the holistic mental, all that thing, show everybody that thing. That's wonderful. And it is the holistic mental health, and it is the second edition, which means there was a first edition at one point.
That's correct.
So what is it going to entail?
Well, this book is the result of my PhD dissertation, where I
can't use big words with my fan base. They're not going to know.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what I did was research on traditional medications, things like people take every day, things like Prozac, Paxil,
Effects XR,
right?
Lexapro,
all of those types of things. And I compared that to alternative therapies like vitamins, herbs, supplements, other type of holistic treatments, and looked at the effectiveness of both. So this book is the result of all clinical research on all those areas. And I talk about things like Alzheimer's disease, anxiety, depression, ADHD, even migraines and headaches, and holistic treatments for those. And I compare the two.
I have a couple of silly questions because this is really to educate me. So I feel that ADHD and the depressions and the Lexapro and the serotonin reuptakes that you're talking about are widely misused and are widely, to me, overdiagnosed.
That's correct.
Everybody and their freaking mother has ADHD. If you can't sit still for a little while, like me, it's only because of my back, not necessarily because I have ADHD. I may have some sort of initial stuff. I don't know what the initials are. I think it's FUCK. I'm not sure what it is, but do you find, like I found, they tried doing this to me like 30 something years ago and putting my serotonin reuptake. It didn't do a damn thing to me, but when I tried to stop it on my own, which I do not recommend anybody ever doing, you need your doctor's permission to wean yourself off something like that. But the serotonin reuptake, your brain kind of gets used to the serotonin that's being put into it, and then you have to change it all the time. And when you go off it, you go into a depression. So it's not like you can't fix the depression with like something that you're going to be talking about holistically wise, and you will have no withdrawals. If you stop doing it, you may have the symptoms of depression again, but you're not going to have the withdrawals where you feel like you're going to faint and die. I mean, that's literally the way I felt when I decided to do that. It was a very stupid decision on my part, so I don't recommend anybody ever doing that. But do you find it to be overdiagnosed on the ADHD part? There's so many people that are walking around here that are, like, in my opinion, totally misdiagnosed
or over-medicated.
Right? Or over-medicated.
Right. Well, if you go into my background a little bit, Chris, I started out as a science teacher, then continued my education, became a school psychologist. So we're talking about ADHD. I had plenty of those children.
But I'm sorry to interrupt, Dr. Dave, but so the ADHD, could that be just a hyperactive kid?
Yes. And this is why boys are diagnosed 6 times more than girls with ADHD, because they're deemed hyperactive. There's two parts to that. There's the hyperactivity, and then there's the attention deficit disorder. That's the DD part of it. But there's lots of researchers out there, lots of doctors, and I have a whole chapter in my book, again, on ADHD, traditional treatments and the drugs used for that, and then alternatives. And there's a lot of doctors, psychiatrists that believe there's no such thing. There's two parts of
No such thing as holistic
no
approach?
such thing as ADHD.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There's two parts of that. Again, there's the hyperactivity that you were describing, and that's usually the result of metabolic issues. In other words, what are you feeding the child? If you're feeding them Fruit Loops for breakfast,
Ooh.
right, all that sugar, a lot of children are allergic to sugar, and they become hyperactive, just like some children are allergic to bee stings or milk, whatever. So everybody's biochemistry is somewhat different. So certain children are in fact allergic to sugar. And if you're giving them sugar in the morning and then they have snacks in school, yes, they become hyperactive. And researchers going back to like 1972 with Dr. Ben Feingold started looking at diet recommendations to reduce the hyperactivity. When you take away those things that make the child hyperactive, sugar and the salicylates in different foods like apples, for example, have this chemical that increases hyperactivity. Then
So wait, so an
goes
apple a
away.
day doesn't necessarily keep the doctor away. Is that
No.
what you're saying? Oh, okay.
No, it doesn't if you're allergic to that ingredient in apples. And again, in schools, what do? They give kids applesauce in the morning or an apple for snacks. But again, certain children are allergic to these things. When you take that out of their diet, their hyperactivity goes away.
So typically to find out if you're allergic to apples, it's trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
You take it away for a little while, see how they act.
Just like any food allergy. If you go to an allergist, they're going to give you all sorts of tests and determine if you're allergic to certain types of things.
So I have people that come into me and say, yes, my doctor diagnosed me with depression and ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so what blood work did they do? Oh, they didn't. It's just a form that you fill out.
Right.
I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that because it's just a form. You can say anything. And I did this on purpose because the messed up individual that I am. I went to a doctor once and I told him that I think I have chronic fatigue syndrome. And this was like a long time ago when I was actually doing a lot of exercise. And the doctor said, "Oh, really? So let's check it out." And he called me back like 2 weeks later, and he told me to come in. He goes, "Well, yeah, you definitely have chronic fatigue syndrome." I said, "Oh, is that hey?" My mic went limp.
I think again it could be the cosmic effects.
Yes, right.
Of the planets.
I see the planets are aligning, moving my microphone. But anyway, so then I said to the doctor, and he's probably not going to like this. I said it to the doctor. I said, "So that's why I can only run 10 miles a day and then rollerblade 10 miles a day." So, doctor, I just want to tell you, you're full of beep. And I walked out because this was a test that I was doing to find out. And I don't know why I did it. I thought it was right to do is to call the doctor out and overdiagnosing people with these things, because the chronic fatigue syndrome is, I don't really believe that it is blood work can tell you that you have that.
Right. They go on symptoms. Same thing again, like you brought up ADHD. It's a questionnaire of symptoms.
Right.
And, the parent fills it out. Sometimes the teacher fills it out as well. And yes, this child has ADHD.
But aren't these opinions?
Yes. And that's why a lot of medical professionals have problems with that. Because then you put on these 6-year-olds on these drugs that make them very lethargic.
6 years old do not belong on that kind of medication. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I don't agree with that. I believe that you can work it out with the person. And you know what? As simple as having your child sit down maybe a half hour out of the day with headphones similar to this, listening to meditation music or something to calm them down. But I really don't believe that the medicated 6-year-old, that's almost like saying that you're allowed to have a sex change when you're 8. It just it's not time.
Right.
Later on, I don't care what you do.
They don't do that. But anyhow, when you get into the diagnosis, it's just an opinion. And yes, the drugs do affect the child, and it makes them more lethargic and less active. But again, you could do the same thing with diet recommendations. Now, the other issue is the attention. And I had so many students that had ADD, attention deficit disorder, in math class. Then next period, they went to science class, and you know what? It went away.
Because they were brilliant in science and they hated math.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm one of those.
Right. And so how can you have a disorder that you can turn on and off at will?
You can't. That's just it.
Exactly. So all these kids diagnosed with ADD, it's simply an attention issue. And does a 6-year-old want to do 50 math problems or look out the window? Yes.
Or cut up a frog.
Right.
I mean, so
exactly.
I literally hated math. I really did. I was dumb as a rock when it came to math.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't become smart until after school. After high school, then I became smart. If you want to call me smart,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I ended up teaching computers in school. I ended up doing all that stuff, self-taught, all of it self-taught. But I only like things that I'm interested in. So that means I have
you don't have
a disorder.
ADD. No, you don't have ADD.
No, math sucks.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Interest.
So is this seminar that you're going to be doing here, which by the way is very inexpensive, and you can just come in. So I'm sorry, what day is that again?
It's Tuesday, February 4th.
Tuesday, February 4th at Psychic and the Genie, 313 Colorado Avenue in downtown Stewart. You can actually call us at 772-678-6170 to just book your spot here, okay? It's quite inexpensive. There's going to be a 2-part series of this. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So the seminar is entitled Healing Body, Mind, and Spirit. So Tuesday, the 4th, we're doing body and mind. The following Tuesday, we're going to do an hour on healing spirit. And that's where we bring my wife, Mary, in. And she wrote this book called Divinely Touched. And
he almost messed that one up big time.
That's right. Divinely Touched. And it's all about her travels through the
cosmos,
the psychic phenomenons, things that brought her to come see you, and her healing journey through the New Age realms. So, and she might even be on your show next week, I understand.
I believe she will. Absolutely.
She can go into more detail about her journey and healing spirit the following week.
So, briefly touching on your journey, before you got into the holistic approach of everything, you were just one of those regular school psychologist dudes that say, "Hey, yeah, you're okay." So, when did you get into the holistic part of it versus what you were taught in school?
Well, I always had an interest in holistic because as a science teacher, I also taught biochemistry. And biochemistry, again, is looking at, biochemistry of the body and how different things affect the body. I was always interested in supplements and vitamins, and I saw the effect on myself when I took large doses of vitamin C. One of my personal heroes is Linus Pauling, who wrote a book back in 1971 called Vitamin C and the Common Cold.
Now, Linus, that's not the guy on Charlie Brown,
no,
right?
No,
okay.
There's a different Linus.
Right.
I think they named that Linus after Linus Pauling.
I don't know. Just wondering.
But Linus Pauling, again, considered father of biochemistry, kind of started an orthomolecular revolution back in Orthomolecular meaning, using supplements and the body chemistry to heal things. And that book was, again, a bestseller back in 1971, Vitamin C in the Common Cold. And he pioneered the use of mega doses in order to cure things. Like the RDA of vitamin C is 60 milligrams. He took 12,000 to 18,000 milligrams a day.
I shoot a syringe of vitamin B12 into my leg each week. It's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And it helps growth, does it not?
Well, I'm 5'4". It didn't help growth. All right. I'm still a midget. Had I taken it when I was younger, I might have been a taller person. I don't know. But I am the tallest one in my family.
So anyhow, that got my interest in vitamins and supplements when I was a science teacher. And then I carried that over when I continued my education in psychology.
Can I just say something? Most you have to know what type of vitamins to actually buy, because most vitamins pretty much run just right through your body. I mean, they're useless. How do you know which ones to buy? And like in this seminar, so I'm feeling sort of lethargic, slow. You take a vitamin, which might boost you up, or change your diet, which might boost you up. But how do you know, unless they see somebody like you, how do they know to do it on their own other than to buy your book or to buy a book or to ask a holistic doctor as to what to do?
Well, again, you just answered your own question.
I always do.
You need to talk to a holistic doctor or get some more information. Today we have things on YouTube. We have, WebMD even that gets into alternative suggestions. So more information you get, the better off you are, obviously, on what to take and what not to take. And that's what I do in my book. I tell you exactly all the research behind different types of holistic remedies, the supplements, the herbs, and then I tell you exactly what to take.
And do you have active clients now, or do now you're focusing on the seminars and stuff like that?
Pretty much focusing on the seminars. We have a website, Divinely Touched, which goes into all of the things we do. I also have a background in hypnotherapy, so I've done
So you
that.
can hypnotize people?
I can.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We should do that one day on the air. Make people make chicken noises and stuff like that. That would be fun.
Well, I don't do the shows. What I do is the therapy part of it, helping people like quit smoking or weight loss. Yeah.
So through hypnosis, does that really work?
Well, again, it depends on how you're doing it, who's doing it,
and if people believe in it.
Well, that helps. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing a hypnotherapist.
Well, I don't know. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried it.
But I emphasize the therapy part, and the therapy part is continued reinforcement. And as you've told us before, you believe a lot in the power of suggestion.
I do.
Right. So that's what hypnotherapy is, the power of suggestion, and it helps change your subconscious. And again, I even talk about those therapies for things like anxiety and depression.
Can I ask you, do you believe in chemical imbalance?
Certainly, and that can be shown in the brain, because if you look at depression is the result of chemical imbalances. But what's causing that how you think, your diet, and when you take something to alleviate that, the different chemicals.
But that's just masking it, isn't it?
No, it's the antidepressants actually change the chemical balance in your brain. And there are different things like herbs, like St. John's wort, which will do the same thing without the side effects.
Yeah, and yeah, you can buy those. You can buy that anywhere, really.
Right. But again, what I do is I tell you what to take and how much to take of it, because something like St. John's wort works like an antidepressant. It's not like an aspirin. You don't take one pill and then feel better all of a sudden. It takes 3 to 4 weeks to change that chemical imbalance in your brain. But it does so without the side effects.
So then let me ask you another simple question. Does your brain get used to the St. John's wort and then you need to take more?
Possibly, yeah, exactly. And, that's the same thing with an antidepressant.
Or alcohol.
Yeah. You have to increase the dosage because become accustomed to that, so to speak.
So really, you have to. It's a life change. It's not necessarily okay. So I'm going to take this for a month and then I'm going to be okay. It's just the way. It's a life change. It's like when you go on a diet. Don't use the word diet. This is a change in life.
Exactly.
It's a practice that you need to do. So when I went on my diet 30 years ago, I found it to be not to be called the diet, but to make sure it's a life change. It's the way you're going to do things for the rest of your life, and not just for 2 months until you get your goal, and then you go back to where you were. And that's how you yo-yo both in emotions, and that's how you yo-yo in weight. People who have been depressed also seem to, well, at most times anyway, gain weight. They turn to food. They turn to drugs. They turn to things like that. So your holistic approach would also probably help with that as well, correct?
Right. Well, some antidepressants actually promote weight gain. So they're taking, that's one of the side effects of an antidepressant, weight gain. And then again, as you see on TV all the time, if your antidepressant isn't working, what do? You take an additional antidepressant, and then you'll have more side effects.
I just didn't understand that. And then they hear about the side effects, not including just diarrhea, but you'll have diarrhea, and then you'll have a headache, and you have stomach pains, including death.
Right. Right. That's a bad side effect. Yeah.
Doesn't even, it's a pretty bad side effect. You can't be calm. Your doctor said, dude, listen, I died.
It cured your depression though,
What do
when
I
you
do?
died.
I know, right? It does stop your depression though if you do that. But I suggest not doing that. Don't die today. Come to the seminar first. Both of them, because you can't come to one seminar without the other, because it just wouldn't be any fun.
Right.
So that's the second edition. What made you come up with a second edition? Because that means you had a first.
Because as you've told us before, science is always changing, and so is
I'm like
medication.
so smart.
You are.
I'm just like
that's
a
why we're
legend
here.
in my own
That's why
mind.
we're here with you, because we love everything you do. But science is always changing. We're always finding new research out there. There's new supplements that are always coming out there. My first edition, I talk about Alzheimer's disease, but things like Prevagen weren't on the market yet. So I talk about that in my second edition. The effects of neurotropics, which are supplements, combination supplements, nootropics, combination supplements for something like Alzheimer's, which wasn't around when I first published this book back in 2005.
But Alzheimer's does not have a cure yet, correct?
Alzheimer's, well,
Has a delay, right?
Excuse me.
I think it was an earthquake.
Yeah. Alzheimer's actually, again, in the second edition, what I did put in my book was research by a psychic medium named Anthony William. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
No, we haven't had lunch yet.
No. But Anthony William, in his book, talks directly to spirit, and he talks about curing things like Alzheimer's.
Here's a pet peeve of mine. He talks directly to spirit.
Right.
There's spirits. There's a whole bunch of them. There's not just one. So he talks to spirits.
Well, he has a personal spirit.
He does. He does. What's his name? Johnny?
No, he calls it the spirit of compassion. And the spirit of compassion actually tells him and diagnoses people around him. But one of the I know this is the psychic that doesn't believe in psychics.
I don't. I really don't. I think they're a bunch of frauds.
Well, you need to get Anthony Williams' book.
Okay, I'll do that.
The medical medium. But getting back to why I'm bringing him up, because I included some of his research in my book, the second edition, because he talks about a cure for Alzheimer's disease.
And have you known anybody to cure themselves from Alzheimer's with this dude's?
Yes, he talks about.
No. Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone that has cured themselves due to what this psychic medium says?
I don't know anyone personally, but he talks about his clients that have been cured from it because, again, he talks about, and I also talked in my earlier editions about some of the causes of Alzheimer's, which is heavy metal poisoning.
Heavy metal. Pink
Things
Floyd.
like lead, mercury, aluminum
Oh, I
in,
thought you
in
were
our
talking
diet.
about Pink Floyd and
No,
Led Zeppelin.
Well, that can cause depression.
I thought that was no, that actually that was the best time of my life. Actually, I vaguely remember it though. I get the sweats and stuff when I played inside. I think they call flashbacks.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's all right.
That's another whole issue.
Yes, it is. I didn't say I don't need help. I do need help too.
But again, he talks a little bit more about heavy metal poisoning, particularly mercury. When you take things like that out of the diet, the Alzheimer symptoms go away.
There you go. So he knows. So wouldn't this dude be like a trillionaire right now? If
He is.
He's not a trillionaire.
Wow.
No, Elon Musk is the richest dude in the world. He's got $456 billion.
Well, Anthony, if you look at his book, he has like about 20 celebrity endorsements in the beginning, which I'm sure you're going to get into. But
yeah, let's go there, man. So like celebrities, they know it all. So these are people
that he's
pretending to be other people, and then they get paid for it.
Exactly. And he's worked with them and helped them through various health issues. So that's why they're endorsing his book.
How's that working for Bruce Willis?
I don't know if he's a client. He should be a client.
Any last words before we're done on that? I'm not saying I don't believe you. I believe in your book.
Mhm.
I believe in you. But there's certain things to me, like if the dude can cure Alzheimer's, he would be
well, one of the things we talk about in the seminar, the first part, healing body and mind, is the big division between allopathic medicine, which is Western medicine. Allopathic
I can just say Western medicine.
Western medicine,
a lot easier.
Compared to naturopathic medicine, which is more like Eastern medicine, which is using vitamins, minerals, supplements in order to cure things. Allopathic or Western medicine uses pharmaceuticals. And we all know about the pharmaceutical industry, how it controls most medicine in the U.S. So
like the vaccines and stuff.
Right.
Did you get a vaccine?
Which one?
The one with the flu.
No.
The flu vaccine.
No.
What was it called? Oh, they called it COVID, which means the flu.
Right.
You didn't get that vaccine? No. Okay, I was just wondering.
Mm-hmm. So going back in, what were we talking about?
We were talking about the Elon Musk and how rich he is compared to.
No, the division between Western and Eastern medicine. And we talk a lot about that in the beginning of the seminar next week.
What do you think is the best, Eastern or Western?
Well, Western traditionally works on symptoms and not curing the issue. Eastern works on curing the issue, what's causing it. So obviously I lean towards the Eastern medicine.
Okay, but you have to have an issue in order to cure it, no?
Mm-hmm. And one of the things we talk about is overall health, healing the body and what causes you to be healthy. For example, all the chemicals in our environment causing us to be sick. Why there's such an increase in cancer. And we talk about holistic cures and treatments for cancer.
Did I tell you that I have a guy that comes into my store that says he has a cure for cancer up in his bedroom? Did I tell you that?
No.
Oh, yeah. So he comes into the store and he says, I don't know what to do. I have the total cure for cancer up in my bedroom, sitting right in the closet, and I don't know who to tell. I don't know. I'm like, huh? I'm like, really, dude? You have the cure to cancer sitting in your closet, and you're sitting in my store instead of giving it to somebody so they can cure people. Yeah, I'm really not sure who to give it to yet. So I do. So that dude probably can use some of your holistic approaches on things.
Right. Again, I talk about the research behind the cures for cancer.
The research behind the cures, so not the cures behind the research. Yeah, that's a good idea. So when they walk away from this particular seminar, they're going to learn what?
How to be healthy in body and mind. Alternatives for the traditional treatments.
So the way I look at it, guys, if you're healthy in mind, it is easier to be healthy in body. If you're unhealthy in mind, it's extremely difficult to be healthy in body, because of just all the emotions and all the addictions that you can. And I'm not just talking about drugs or anything. I'm talking about food. I'm talking about eating unhealthy. I'm talking about, at 12 at night having those cheese doodles in the bed. I don't do that, by the way. It's just saying I don't eat in bed. But so the healthy part of the mind is really something to focus on in this seminar, I would believe. Again, this is next Tuesday at 6 p.m. The doors will close at 6:05. I'm very strict because I have to be here. So if I have to be here, your ass is going to be here too. So that means, and it's quite inexpensive, correct? For both things. So I really do urge people to come to this seminar next Tuesday at 6:00 and start learning how to take care of yourself. Start learning how to retrain your brain, because that's kind of what you do. You're retraining your brain how to think and how to take care of yourself naturally instead of through medicines and stuff that just isn't going to work long term. It may work short term, but it's just, to me, long term, the way to do it is holistically. You do it long term because that's just a way of life now. It's just that's what it is. If you don't believe me, talk to Dr. Dave. He'll tell you it's a way of life, right?
That's exactly right. Most doctors will say, take this pill for life. And again, then you're looking at side effects. And we'll have another pill for the side effects.
Mind
it
you,
goes on and on.
I do take medicine due to my back. My mother did take nitro because if she didn't, she'd be dead. Oh, she did anyway. Sorry, Mom. But there are some advantages to modern medicine, like my mom and my dad had to take certain medicines in order to really live. Unless there is a holistic approach against nitro for the heart. And now, are you talking serious heart disease?
Well, again, it's what's causing that. If we look at diet interventions, if we look at supplements,
hereditary. Yeah, so she had 4 quadruple bypasses, 2 experimental heart surgeries. She had a disease where the arteries just collapsed, and so they couldn't do anything else. She had open heart surgery while she was awake.
Wow.
Yeah, she had to be under a local. That was on our other podcast before it was destroyed. Thank you for that. But that kept her alive for 40 years. It did. Sure. And I'm sure there are holistic approaches to that and much cheaper approaches to that, mind you, because that's where big pharma comes in and they start really I know somebody who just had a back surgery and just got a bill for $600,000 and something. It's like, really? I just had blood work done just for shits and giggles to find out, if I'm healthy or not. It was over $2,000 to have blood work. To say, hey, you're good, or hey, you're not. I don't understand that. I think that the big pharma has gotten way out of control. But I'm not so sure that I would believe in socialized medicine either, though, because you have to wait a long time, from what I hear.
Yep.
Any last words?
Nope. Again, thank you, Chris, for having us. And we're doing a 2-part workshop, Healing Body, Mind, and Spirit. Part 1 is next week on the 4th. And then the following week on the 11th, we're doing part 2, which is Healing Spirit.
Very cool. Look forward to seeing you guys there. You can always call us at 772-678-6170. Just let us know you're coming. And this way we can put you down in the book and we can set a chair aside for you. And there'll be plenty of room. We have lots of chairs here, believe it or not. We like to play that game where you pull out the chairs from people when they try to sit down. So we bought those chairs for that. So look forward to next week when I get to talk to Mary. And that's just a whole different ball game. So the doctor is like, he's very calm and, he's just like official kind of thing. Mary, on the other hand, is sort of, I don't know. It's funny how you two interact, where you keep the balance, where Mary keeps the, I don't even know how to word it. Guys, you'll see next week. I promise you this. So Mary is much different, and both of you are amazing. And we look forward to seeing everybody next Tuesday, 6:00, or else. Goodbye.
Thank you.
I will hit the end button now.